burning passion, strength, all for free across the wilderness.
Rotary Clubs of Pine Bluff and the United Way, we'd like to welcome all the business and community leaders to this kickoff for the 2015 session. I'd like to also thank the organizations that they support are here today, and I'd like to again give the Jenkins Choirs a round of applause for what they did. And I'd like to introduce my cohort of the Pine Bluff Club, Mr. John Wall.
As Shannon said, my name is John Wall, and I am president of the Rotary Club of Pine Bluff. On behalf of our club, I would like to extend our sincerest appreciation to each of you for attending our joint Rotary meeting and kickoff of the Fall 2014 United Way campaign. Just as United Way has a strong history in our community, the Rotary Club of Pine Bluff is nearing 100 years of dedication to making a difference both locally and abroad. At this time, I would like to ask all Rotarians from both Pine Bluff clubs, as well as any visiting Rotarians, to please stand. Thank you, Rotarians, for your unwavering commitment toward meeting Rotary's international goals, as well as for the significant contributions that each of you make locally to our community. I would like to extend an invitation to all here today to visit one of Pine Bluff Rotary Clubs. As a Rotarian, you are provided the opportunity to make a positive difference in the lives of others, both locally and internationally. Rotary also provides you the opportunity to network with other business professionals and community leaders. The Rotary Club of Pine Bluff meets here every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, and the West Pine Bluff Rotary Club meets here every Thursday at 12 o'clock. By working together, we can all accomplish more. And that's the same can be said with the United Way. Working together is a key component of the United Way. Through volunteerism and giving, we all play a part in how many organizations and people are ultimately benefited. With every great organization, strong leadership is a necessity that must start at the top. This year, the United Way of Southeast Arkansas is proud to introduce Brian Miller as President-elect of the United Way of Southeast Arkansas. Please join me in welcoming Brian Miller.
I hope everybody's doing well. My dinner was great. As you can see, I don't miss too many dinners and not too much I push aside, but that's all right. Another round of applause for the choir. That was just incredible. I could listen to that day after day. Mr. Caldwell called me a few weeks ago and asked me if I could fill in, which I said yes, and he didn't tell me I'd have a chance to speak, and I looked and it says comments. So, Mr. Caldwell, I'm going to make a few comments while I'm standing up here. I appreciate the opportunity. United Way. I've been involved in United Way for about 26 years now. I started at Southeast Arkansas Mental Health Center, which is behavioral health now, and at giving, and went from being a giver to a loaned executive at JRMC to a campaign coordinator at JRMC, and then was on the board of directors after being invited, and have thoroughly enjoyed it. While I was at Mental Health Center, I was able to work with several of the agencies, neighbor to neighbor for one, where people that really needed groceries and clothes could go, and you just don't know the looks on their faces and the true needs that they have until you've visited there. Salvation Army, Jenkins, and I could go on with the agencies that I've seen the good things they do. So, you know, in 26 years, I don't know the amount of money that I've given. It's not an issue. I've never missed a dime of it. How about, and let me go a different direction. Right now, I want to ask all the staff and partner agencies to stand. And their board of directors, please, all the partner agency board members. That's wonderful. A lot of people that spend their time and effort, and I appreciate that. How about a new campaign, Mr. Caldwell? You know, I give and it makes me feel good, so I'm going to help you feel good like I feel. So I want you to give when it comes time for us to ask you. The last thing that I was asked to do and is introduce somebody, and I've known her for several years. I told her I've had a few days to prepare to introduce her. I think she's nervous right now. But the more I thought about it over the years, whenever I got ahead of, I thought I was ahead of the game with you or Julie Bridgeforth, y'all always got even with me. And Julie's shaking her head, so I think I'll behave myself and go a different direction. I do want to introduce Rebecca Batillo, the Fall 2014 Campaign Chair. Rebecca.
Well, I am just thrilled to be here. I'm so excited about this year's campaign and know that Southeast Arkansas is going to work as hard as we always have to meet our goal. I've been associated with the United Way for over 15 years in one capacity or another. And I am still amazed at the work ethic and the dedication of the volunteers that are living united. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here today and for giving your time and your finances. If you're in this room, you probably know that our very own Southeast Arkansas United Way has been working to advance the common good for over 67 years. But you may not realize that the United Way of America was established over 125 years ago. In 2012, it mobilized 2.9 million volunteers. It raised $5.2 billion, and that was in over 1,800 United Ways in 41 countries. That ranks the United Way, the organization that we're here for today, as the world's largest privately funded nonprofit organization. It feels good to be a part of something that is making such an improvement, not just in Southeast Arkansas, but all over the world. Now, saying that, because I know you're all thinking it, more than 99 cents of every dollar raised stays right here in Southeast Arkansas. But the fact remains that we are not alone in this journey of advancing the common good of our families, our neighbors, our coworkers, and others all over the world. So what are the building blocks of a good quality of life? Let's start with education, because we know that's important. Well, right here in Southeast Arkansas, we help children and youth achieve their full potential with our volunteers in public schools, Jenkins Memorial Center, Jenkins Industries, and they did such an amazing job today. It just thrills my heart to see them up there. I hate to ask you to clap again, but my goodness, they were great. Youth Partners, Boys and Girls Club, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and the 4-H. So a great number of agencies that are working to help children and youth achieve their full potential. So the next part, income. We promote financial stability and independence for families and individuals in more than these two, but especially CASA and Salvation Army. And then there's health. And y'all, the list is so long, but I have to say it. We work to improve people's health through the Red Cross, Access, American Cancer Society, American Social Health, Arkansas Food Bank Network, Neighbor to Neighbor, Medical Aid, Children's Advocacy, Voices for Children, Southeast Arkansas Behavioral Health, RSVP, and Area Agency on Aging. That is amazing. That's a great group of agencies working together to improve people's health right here in Southeast Arkansas. So how do we do that? By bringing together the stakeholders in each community to build collective impact strategies that address the most pressing issues in our community in Southeast Arkansas, right here at the local level. So I want to take an opportunity to introduce some of those stakeholders that are here today. And I didn't go around the room and check, so I may name some people that aren't here, but please stand if I do call your name. The loaned executives. Our loaned executive chair this year just so happens to be last year's campaign chair, and I know he's going to do another stellar job at this as well. Mr. Stephen Brown, will you please stand? There you are. Let's thank Stephen. Stephen has recruited over 20 loaned executives for this year's campaign, and they are such an important piece of the puzzle that makes the campaign a success. I want to thank those individuals. If you're a loaned executive, will you please stand? Do we have any loaned executives that are here? It's not just a thank you to those individuals, but also the companies that allow them to be away from their place of work, their everyday activities. They let them go and help us reach our goal. So thank you for helping with those efforts. The next group is the Pillars. Our Pillars chair this year is Mr. Tommy May. I want to recognize him and thank him for his leadership. The Pillars program has 5 categories. They're bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. We had over 500 pillars last year, and of course, we want more in years to come. We sincerely thank you if you have been a part of giving at this level. And let me just say that level starts at 500. So that is a huge group of people from our community that are giving big, and we thank you for that sincerely. You've got a Pillars brochure at every table, so you can take a look at that. I encourage everyone that's able to please give at that level. I'd like to ask our group chairs of this year's campaign to stand. Mr. Nick Macris from MK Distributors. He's Group 1. Group 2 is Glenda Dean from Simmons Bank. Is Glenda here today? Julie Bridgeforth, the amazing Julie Bridgeforth from JRMC. Thank you, Julie. She's Group 3. And Group 4 is my awesome brother-in-law. No, he's not my husband. My husband's right here. That's Chad. Scott Patillo is Group 4. Everyone gets us confused. But Scott, I don't think is here today, but he's going to do Group 4. We appreciate you, Scott. So when you add up all the division chairs, the section chairs, the account solicitors, the employee campaign coordinators, there will be over 70 people working on this year's campaign. Now there are a few individuals that work a little bit extra, I should just go ahead and say extremely hard, and I'd like to recognize them as well. So will the United Way of Southeast Arkansas staff please stand and be recognized? Thank you so much for all you do. We appreciate you. So I'm going to introduce the Fall 2014 Campaign Vice Chair, Mr. Nick Macris. Nick is married to his beautiful wife, Lindsay, and they have one precious son, Nick Jr., who is 7 months old. Nick graduated from the University of Arkansas with a business degree, and he's putting that education to work at MK Distributors. Nick volunteers at the Arts and Science Center Board of Trustees, the Pine Bluff Area Community Foundation Board of Directors, Leadership Pine Bluff Board of Directors, Jefferson County Manufacturing Council, the Lucy S. Elliott Foundation Board of Trustees, the United Way of Southeast Arkansas Board of Directors, and 50 for the Future Board of Directors. He and his family attend Trinity Episcopal Church. Nick, as you can tell from the list of volunteer activities he has, is a contributor. And he is always willing to do what it takes in Pine Bluff and Southeast Arkansas to not just make it better, but to make it excellent. Please join me in welcoming our Fall 2014 Campaign Vice Chair, Mr. Nick Macris.
Thank you, Rebecca, and thank you even more for all the hard work and dedication that you've put into what I know will be a very successful United Way campaign. Each year, the campaign chair puts together a communications team to create a video highlighting a few of the many individuals and organizations that help make the United Way a success. This year's communications chair is Sarah Lunsford. She has done a tremendous job, put a lot of hard work and effort into this video, which will be evident after viewing it. Thank you, Sarah. Wonderful work. Helping Sarah were Leonard Chambly with Creative Motion Media and Richard Reedus with UAPB. Leonard was the videographer and Richard helped with the audio and visual equipment. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you both for all your hard work. After we view the video, we were going to have 2 guest speakers. Unfortunately, one will not be with us. Garrett Adams is at CART taking college courses right now. But after you watch the video, you will see that he is a true inspiration to us all. Our second speaker, Donna Johnson, is with the American Red Cross of Greater Arkansas and is Garrett's grandmother. So thank you both for being here, and we look forward to, or thank you, Donna, for being here, and we look forward to hearing you speak. Let's roll the video.
Every now and then, Pastors Nathaniel and Angelia Thornton share the positive aspects of giving to their congregation at Bethlehem No. 2, near Star City.
When we make up in our mind to really give wholeheartedly, then the Bible says God provides, and he that gives to the poor shall not lack.
Nathaniel believes that living is giving, and we live life best when we give of ourselves and our resources. He leads by example.
When I worked at the Department of Corrections, I worked at the Varner unit, and every year they would issue out cards, donation cards from the United Way to us, and have us sign a little form saying how much we would donate every year. And every year we would donate so much to the United Way Fund.
It's something he wanted his son Cedric to carry with him the rest of his life.
In reality, we raised him to work for what you wanted, and then give back.
All right, this is what we're gonna do first.
Cedric, a defensive end for the Philadelphia Eagles, is doing just that, giving back. In June, he held a free football clinic for kids in Star City.
It's all about just giving back. That's all we are. We're missionaries. We're trying to give back, and that's why I hosted the camp here and let it be free. Let them know that it ain't all about the money. It's just something that I want to inspire them and let them know that they too have the opportunity to be successful too.
Over the years, the National Football League has given millions of dollars in free television time to the United Way. Cedric does his part by giving at the local level. He wants to teach these young people that if they believe in themselves, they too can become champions and leaders in their communities.
A champion starts within yourself. So, I mean, if you don't believe you can do it, then nobody else is going to believe you. You can do it. And once you take that and then you take that to other individuals, you inspire them to be winners too. So to be a champion, you have to win within. And then once you win within, then you have to encourage others to be winners too. So.
Garrett Adams is a winner. You might remember he was born with a hole in his heart and had major heart surgery when he was 4 months old, resulting in severe seizures, which left one side of his brain underdeveloped. He went to Jenkins Memorial Center, a United Way partner agency, for therapy.
I started going to Jenkins when I was 2 years old, and I went there for my social and speech. Being able to go to Jenkins, I was able to go to school and live a normal life. I'm thankful to United Way, to Jenkins, because they gave me what I needed, the learning ability and the knowingness to go on with my life in a normal way.
Life is normal for Garrett. He's involved in his church and works at a local golf club. He filled out a pledge card to make a donation to the United Way of Southeast Arkansas. It's his way of giving back.
I gave to the United Way because I felt like they helped me, and I wanted that same help to go to somebody who needs it maybe more than me.
It's a blessing to be able to give, and I think the United Way, and I am familiar with Red Cross and all these, some of the other affiliations that you have, but it's so important that we give. give back to the community and help those that are less fortunate where we are.
You don't have to be a NFL player to be a champion. You can be a champion within your community. You can be a champion within your household. It's all about leadership and how you conduct yourself. So get up and do your job in the community and don't sit on the sideline.
It's stories like this that encourages people to give to the United Way of Southeast Arkansas and its 25 partner agencies. Agencies that help meet the needs of so many people in our neighborhoods. So thank you for supporting the United Way of Southeast Arkansas.
As I've already been introduced, I'm grandma. So you know what that means. I get to talk about my grandson, and you're my captive audience. So I hope that you all don't have somewhere to be, because he's a great kid, and I have y'all here. How many people in here, no, let me just back up. I bet not many people in here have ever really needed or used a United Way agency. Probably not many of us. I imagine, I'm from the Red Cross, so of course I think of fires. I imagine if you had a fire that you would have plenty of resources. You got insurance, right? You got your friends, you got grandma down the street, you got your church members, your neighbors, lots of folks that would help you. You probably wouldn't need Red Cross to come to your rescue. I also bet not many of you in here have ever been homeless. Really, truly have no place to go. And I know that happens because they walk in our office at the Red Cross. Or don't know where your next meal's coming from or how you're gonna feed your family. So you probably hadn't needed the Salvation Army or Neighbor to Neighbor, but they're there. And there are people who do need them. And I'm hoping that none of you have ever experienced abuse, either child abuse or domestic abuse, and needed those agencies like CASA for Women's Shelter, and Children's Advocacy and Voices for Children that the United Way supports. I'm hoping you haven't. Probably not. And then there's teen pregnancy. You know, it's pretty rampant, I think, in Jefferson County, and there's a lot of folks who do use it. Access has a lot of resources for that. And the Behavioral Health Center, sometimes anybody's family can need mental health help or behavioral health help. They're also United Way. And then, you know, Area Agency on Aging, a lot of us, I know I've been in that fix, have needed to take care of my aging parents, and I found them a very useful resource for me, and they were great help. But I bet many of you have used those really cool agencies like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, RSVP to volunteer, the 4-H club, a lot of those things that we take advantage of either for ourselves when we were kids. I remember when I was a Girl Scout, I still have my little pin. It's pretty old, it's antique now. So, you know, it might be worth something, I don't know. Candy, maybe we could auction it off, make a little money. Most of us feel, my point with this is that most of us feel that we have enough resources, don't we? We can take care of ourselves, right? I mean, we thought that. But I'm going to back up a little bit and talk to you about my grandson. We were so excited when we found out that we were going to have a grandbaby. First grandchild, first baby. I mean, we were all just plumb silly. I'm not kidding you a pound. We were going around buying stuff and getting stuff and telling everybody you'd have thought we were the only ones in Pine Bluff and anywhere that ever had one. And he was born. And I was at a training in Washington, D.C. for the Red Cross. And they slipped a note to me, and of course they had me ask what it was about. Everybody was real excited. And the whole class sang, "She's an old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be." So that was funny. I'll never forget that. Still have the note, as a matter of fact. But Garrett was born, and a beautiful blonde-headed little baby boy, but very soon we found out that he had some problems, some health problems. He had holes in his heart, which you heard on the film. And they wanted him to gain a little weight before they did some surgery, but he waited a little long and he went into cardiac arrest. And when that happened, he had to have life support. And he wound up on the ECMO machine. Have you ever heard of the ECMO machine? It pumps your blood for you and all that, and it very often causes brain bleeds, which it did. And he had a stroke, which turned into very serious seizures, 100 a day. He couldn't do anything. They were giving him medications to counteract the seizures, and it made him very lethargic. And he drooled, couldn't develop. He hit no milestones because he was out of it. Be like, you know, taking a cough syrup with cocaine in it or something, codeine in it or something all the time. You're just kind of out of it in la-la land. So we're thinking, what are we going to do? Before he wound up with the seizures, he wound up at Children's Hospital and had half of his brain removed. He has only the right hemisphere of his brain. Thank goodness for Children's Hospital. But then we were thinking, what are we going to do? We did not have the resources to do for this child like he was going to need. He had some serious issues because his right arm is affected. He cannot use his right hand. His right leg was affected. He has no peripheral vision out either side, nor toward the middle. He has tunnel vision. So we were wondering, how can we get help with this? And the doctors at Arkansas Children's Hospital said, you have the best agency in the state right there in Pine Bluff, Jenkins Memorial Center. And we were thinking we'd probably have to take him to Tulsa or, you know, Memphis or some other place to get the treatment we needed, but it was right down the road. And thank goodness, it was just marvelous. We didn't know if he'd sit up or walk or talk or do any of those things. But Jenkins took him right in. They all know him over there at Jenkins, everybody. And they went to work with him. And they taught him things like, well, sitting up. He learned to sit up. He learned to balance. He couldn't balance himself. He couldn't sit up and balance. He'd just fall over. And they taught him to walk, and they taught him to walk up and down stairs. Have you ever thought about, you know, we just take it for granted our kids are going to learn, you know. First they bump down the stairs, and then they kind of learn to get down them, you know. But he didn't learn any of that naturally. They taught him how to, okay, I bet none of you can do this. I bet you nobody can do it. Can you tie your shoes with one hand? This kid can do this in a minute. I'm just amazed. I told him he was going to teach me, but he won't do it. So he is amazing with that. Tie his shoes with one hand, and they taught him that over there. They taught him to dress himself because, hey, you guys, try going to the bathroom and pulling up the zipper and buttoning it with one hand. Serious. And, you know, or getting dressed with just one hand. They taught him how to grasp a pencil. You know, they taught him penmanship, how to write. They taught him hand-eye coordination because he did not have peripheral vision, so things didn't always work like you and I would see them or work. They taught him that. They taught him receptive and expressive language, how to receive language from you and how to respond back to that. They taught him how to follow directions, something we take for granted. But he didn't understand directions. He didn't know. I remember those days. It was almost difficult to work with Garrett because you'd get frustrated because Garrett go over there. He could not get that. Now he does, by the way. They used computers with him because he loves buttons and switches, and he loves computers and electronics, as most youngsters do. But they used the computer and his interest in that to teach him language. And the programs they had on the computer are things he was working with, so he was learning computer and the language at the same time. And they taught him things like hot and cold, things we take for granted. He had to be taught. You know, I bet all of you have kids at one time or another, it's hot, that's hot, you know. You teach them, but Garrett didn't get that. He had to literally be taught hot or cold and up and down and over and under, outside and inside. And concepts and things they taught him. And they taught him to compensate for his loss of that arm. He can open a jar quicker than I can. He'd take that jar and put it up under this arm and take the sand over here, and he's got it. Because often I offer to help, and he's like, I got it, Grandma. You know, or Nana. He calls me Nana, sometimes Grandma, because, by the way, I have 2 more grandchildren, so when we get through, you know, we'll have a little time here. My family could not have done for Garrett what Jenkins Memorial did. And Jenkins Memorial is a United Way agency, has already been mentioned today. We had to have that outside help. Garrett is now, as you saw in the film, a fine young man. He's 19 years old. Of course, I love him to death, and I'll fight any of you who say he's not. But he does all the things 19-year-old guys do. He plays basketball with one hand. He does. He dribbles, takes it up, gets it, and shoots it, one hand. Bet y'all can't do that. And he's not shy about trying to do it and playing. And Garrett has had some awesome support in this whole community, from his church family down to United Way to Jenkins and his family and extended family. So I think this has made it, you know, where Garrett can do things. And the basketball team he plays on is his church, which made me think of that. He is a responsible young guy who's got a job, and he's going to CARC. He's in algebra class right now, and his dad didn't particularly want him to miss algebra because that's a tough class. So he could not make it over here. I think Garrett really would have liked to come and just said a word or two. He's not shy at all. He's very social. Any of you who know him, he would know all of you in the room before he left here probably. He's kind of like his granddad, if y'all know Peanut Johnson. He knows everybody before he leaves. And from my family to Jenkins, I want to extend our thanks, and by extension to United Way, and by extension to you guys for supporting United Way. Because without him, without Jenkins, Garrett would not be what he is today. And by the way, Garrett doesn't drool anymore, unless it's over some cute little girl. Thank y'all very much.
Garrett and his family are such a beautiful example of what the United Way agencies do to better the common good in Southeast Arkansas families. Thank you so much, Donna, for sharing your story and inspiring us all to give a little more, give a little more. There are over 30,000 individuals impacted each year through our United Way agencies. I just want to acknowledge the agencies one more time and say thank you so much for all the hard work that you do. I encourage you to support these agencies by volunteering and giving to the United Way campaign. The United Way itself has no needs. The partner agencies themselves have no needs. The truth is, people like Garrett have needs, and the agencies have the solutions. My challenge to you and to all of Southeast Arkansas is this: be a part of the solution. One contribution equals countless results. Thank you so much. I'm excited about this campaign. Give, volunteer, do all you can. I think I'm turning it over to you, right, Shannon? All right.
I'd like to thank everyone for attending on behalf of the Rotary Clubs of West Pine Bluff and Pine Bluff. And as John says, we'd like to see y'all on Tuesday or Thursday. Come visit us and see what we're about. If you need any more information, come visit us on Facebook, the West Pine Bluff Facebook Club. Another thing, I would like to personally thank Mr. Jim and the United Way staff for letting the Rotary Clubs host this every year. It's been a pleasure to working with them. And we are adjourned.